Just sit right back and hear it tell the tale of a broadcast crew who gather around the mighty drink to give their point of view. As man is the panel by, he shows that he has fun, and Donny our host will jump along, guiding us through the storm, guiding us through the storm. Big T's our Rocky keeps us true, he often gets his say, and just alive he knows the girls will never the Dragon's way, never the Dragon's way. The Mad Dragon podcast is a journey unforeseen with Tasman and Donny too. It makes me tea and cocoa, just the start. Muzzle and the other crew here on the Mad Dragon podcast.
Well, here we are back at Lidcombe Oval, having some dramas with the sun sitting outside here. You can't see my screen, so in terms of getting everything updated and ready for this second game, had a few dramas, but we're back. We're about 2 minutes into this game. The Tigers had a chance to attack. They made an error, and Dragons winger Zach Nakar picked it up and had designs on going length. Probably should have got a penalty, a second effort in the tackle from the Tigers if he got up to try and play it quickly. Knocked it free, but referee just ruled that he dropped it. So the Tigers once again with another opportunity to attack the Dragons line. Play it back to Hayward. Hayward goes towards the middle with Bunt. He'll be put down. Hayward looks towards the right-hand side, just picks up Farmer K. Keep attacking this right-hand channel. A good, strong charge there. Meslamani. Dummy and go from Tanus, the Tigers halfback. He'll play it back. Hayward. Once again to Bunt. Bunt steps off the left. Beats the charging play there. The Cooker. The Tigers come to this left-hand side. A dummy and go. This Sergeant Wilson fell over. They were unable to exploit it. The little kick goes in behind. A Tigers player hits the deck. They chase through, and the ball goes over the dead ball line. The Dragons. About 3.5 minutes gone. 0-0 here in the SG ball game, the under-19s. The Dragons, round one losers, lost pretty convincingly to South Sydney, going down 58-12. But Cyrus Stanley, trail goes through, looked on the inside. He had Xavier Kirk just flashing through, but could not get him the ball. The ball goes to ground, and now the Dragons give away the penalty. But Cyrus Stanley trail. He's got an NRL contract, a train and trial contract. He shows us there why he's very highly thought of at the club. Couldn't position his fullback, though. Kirk, he looks a fly, looks to have some fast legs. Hoping to see him in some open field at some stage in this game. The Tigers have had all the territory, but just I'd say the best of the chances so far have come from the Dragons. But here's the Tigers once again in good field position. Got their team up on the screen. But he's been really busy. Getting hit hard there by Killer. Hayward out of dummy half and a good shot. Well, who was that put on the big shot? It was Cooper Hale. I think we're going to say no advantage from the Tigers' mistake. I'm asking the Dragons where they want the scrum. The Tigers are celebrating because the Dragons have come up with the error, but it will be a Dragons loose head and feed. No advantage. after the great shot from Cooper Hale. Dragon centre showing some physicality. He's another one we've recruited. I can't remember which club. I want to say Manly. I might be wrong there, though. Don't hold me to it. I know he's definitely come from another club. Pretty highly thought of as well, Cooper Hale. Highlights look fairly good. So he's a player that looking forward to seeing in the red and white. It's another mistake here from the Dragons. It's a roll ball. You've got to use your foot, at least for the first 2 or 3 rounds before the referees forget about it. Johnson, you should have raised your hands and delivered the Dragon's sermon with the sun behind you. It's a bit of a pain in the ass at the moment, but the shadow's starting to creep across the bar as the Tigers trying to bash their way over the line. Hayward goes out to the 7, short ball, another mistake. Good tackle on that occasion. Kaongio has come into the starting lineup, although it looks like it's going to be a Tigers penalty, so the referee playing advantage, tackling a player without the ball. So the ruling is that Kaongio actually made the contact before the ball got to him, and that's the reason for the error. So Tigers penalty. Well, it's been all Balmain so far. It's Neslamani. Just takes the settler to start the set. Bunt. Tips that on to Farmer K. I love saying that name. It's quite amusing. I don't think he is a farmer. We'll go out now and picked up and driven into the turf there. Well, Owen Benson. I don't know whether we'll be running in the direction of Ocasitino anytime soon. Another penalty, though, against the Dragons. Right in front for the Tigers. I wonder if they show respect to the Dragons' defence and go the 2. No, sir. Tap and go. The Dragons have held on nicely so far. Aitchison, centre field about a metre out. One turned underneath. Then good defence down low from Smythe. And another shot in around the ball, forces it loose. And the Tigers, they keep trying to bash their way over. There doesn't seem to be any way through the front door. Matthew Aitchison on this occasion comes up with a mistake. Jaden Cooker, he was the man with the contact. The Dragons so far, the defence has been good. Penrith, there we go. Ann Johnson correcting me. Cooper Hale from the Panthers. That's some success getting some players from the Penrith area because Callan Gahu from that part of the world. Also Finau Latu, who reportedly ran over the top of Amoli Olakuatu in the scrimmage yesterday. Both from that the Penrith juniors. Now we've got Cooper Hale. Outside back, centre 3/4. So far, we've seen him put on some good defence as Cyrus Stanley trail. Takes a hit up on this occasion and the Tigers handle him, put him down onto his back. Step out of dummy half to Futialo. One of the 2 Dragons try scorers last week in that 58-12 loss to Souths. Kick now from Boyle. Ronnie chasing through and he heard the footsteps. Did Joseph Parch? Because he's knocked it on and the Dragons will get their first real opportunity in this game. We're 10 minutes in and we'll have a scrum feed 10 out from the Tigers line. Joseph Parch putting his side under some pressure. Lee Charlie Boyle to feed the scrum. Sergeant Wilson sweeps around to the right. They go to the left, though, to Hale. Hale runs away from one, barges over another. Hale towards the line. Held up, held just inside the field of play. He'll play the ball back. Now it comes to Sergeant Wilson. He tips it on to Stanley Trail. Stands in the tackle. They get around the bootlaces there, Aitchison, to make sure he gets to the ground. Now they try and bash over through Smythe and knock it on. Ricciardi Smythe just tried to come back in behind the ruck, close to the line. Went without the ball, though. And the first opportunity for the Dragons goes begging. It remains 0-0 on the Complete Warehouse Solutions scoreboard. A big shout out to Mad Dragons podcast fan, one of our best, Ian Johnson. Helping out with that bit of missing information that I was searching for on Cooper Hale. He's had a couple of good touches now in both attack and defence, so looking forward to seeing a bit more of him. Another one that looks a likely type, Monte Barani. He's got. He gives me some Jason Saab vibes. Really, he's tall, slender, looks like a real athlete. Hopefully, he's got the speed of a Jason Saab as well. The Tigers now. Hussein Farr McKay. Paul Weissman talking about our fantastic fan. Paul says, "G'day." Pretty much every live stream we put on. Great to hear from you again, Paul. Hope you're doing well. As Kirk looks to attack straight away. Well, the Dragons, from that kick return, go out to the wing, almost finding a little bit of space. Ratu Kaongio found himself out on the wing. Now, Lewis Sergeant Wilson show and go. Saw a space open up in front of him. It closed only just in time. Boyle, short ball, Hikula. Desperate tackle from the Tigers, but the Dragons asking some questions. Dummy and go from Boyle, gets the pass away, and they crack over in the corner. The pass is all good, says the touch judge. And a try to Antonio Ocasatino. And the Dragons score the first here at Lidcombe Oval. And the Tigers having to play some catch-up. The Dragons look sharp. Well, they've withstood a barrage from the Tigers. They've made a few errors that have given the Tigers opportunities to score points here. They haven't had a lot of chances down this end, but that was a really, really good set of six. Great lead-up work. And Charlie Boyle, well, both halves instrumental in that set. Lewis Sergeant Wilson, a bit of a show and go, almost went through the gap. That got him onto the front foot, and just a couple of plays later, Charlie Boyle pokes his head through, a little flick pass out the back to Ocasatino. He goes over to score. It's 4-0. Kick to come from out wide for the Dragons. Really impressive opening 15 minutes, though, from St George. Do well to go on with it, though. The Tigers, 28-16 winners in round one over the West's Magpies. Maybe they saw the scorelines last week and they come in a little complacent against the Dragons under 19s. Sergeant Wilson from out wide moves in. Well, that's going closer to the corner post than the goal post, unfortunately. So it's 4 points to 0. Complete Warehouse Solutions scoreboard, 15 and a half minutes gone. Haven't really had a chance to go through these teams yet, so we'll go through the Dragons team. Xavier Kirk and Zach Nakar. Xavier Kirk at fullback, Nakar and Barani are the wings. Hale and Okasatino, the centres. Halves, Boyle and Sergeant Wilson. Up front, a bit of a change up front. Ratu Kaongio comes into the starting lineup. Up front with Alex Fudialo, Jaden Hooker. Well, the Dragons from this kickoff, now they're into space. A pass goes to Kirk and Xavier Kirk. Well, they're going to go coast to coast. Hold the phone, blocker, as the old saying used to go. The Dragons down that left-hand touchline, they get away and they score onto the post through Xavier Kirk. Some brilliant play. Again, Cooper Hale was involved. And it's the fullback that finishes it. Well, all of a sudden, the Dragons go bang, bang. They're out to an 8-0 lead. Guy too. So in the comments, g'day, mate. Good to see you. Welcome to 2025. Well, the Dragons fans very excited about the 2025 season. Can't wait for it to start. I tell you, seeing videos of the scrimmage, even though it's not a trial game, it's just an opposed training run against Manly. Just seeing that video yesterday, it got me very, very excited for this 25 season. Some good information coming out of that. Hoping for a wonderful 2025. So wishing you well, Guy. The Dragons, Lewis Sergeant Wilson knocks over the conversion attempt on this occasion from right in front. You're out to a 10-0 lead. 18 minutes gone. 2 tries in very quick succession. In terms of reading out the team list, I've got the Fudialo. Back row, Stanley Trail, Hakila and Smythe. It's a very good-looking back row for the Dragons. On the bench, Tohu Vaka, Oltolo, Carr, and Idich. Cooper Merton is the 18th man. Well, after what the Dragons did in that last set, we might just stay with the play here. It's Fudialo. Looks to set a platform. Now this time they're going through the middle of the field, and again, almost slicing through. So a bit of footwork right at the line. Now Stanley Trail. Boyle goes out to the try scorer, Okasatino, the first try scorer. He backs his way forward on tackle 5. Another pretty good set. Hooker goes to Boyle, not the best of passes, a little bit of a juggle on the last, and he's going to have to take the tackle. So the Tigers were right up in his face after he juggled the pass. He's unable to think his way through. He's apologised to his teammate for handing it over in not the best of field position. Bring the Tigers side up on the screen, but we might wait a little while to go through that. There's an error, though, from the Tigers. And a penalty comes against Stanley Trail. Well, a late call that came from the touch judge. I hate to say it, I think he got it right. I think Cyrus Stanley Trail got up through his hand into the ruck and knocked the ball free. The initial call was a mistake from the Tigers. Instead, a penalty. Put them on the attack. 20 minutes in to this first half, 15 to go. Gone by quick because we missed the first couple of minutes. Fumbling around with technology, but Tigers looking to get themselves on the board and get themselves back in this game. Charging through, no arms there, Ricciardi Smythe. Just taking this one forward off the bench, Van Dry. Quick play the ball. Again, they go the crash play with Stone. Not asking a lot of questions of the defence so far, the Tigers. This time they go again out to Van Dry, and again they're up on him quickly. Cook has been good on his own line defensively, wraps up the ball. Time they go out, the fullback's beaten one, beaten two. We beat a couple on the same blade of grass there, Denninger. Went nowhere. The reinforcements arrive, make the tackle and hand it over. For the Dragons, their defence holds up. The Tigers, they've had plenty of ball down this end of the field, and I've got to say they've done absolutely nothing with it. I've been pretty average so far. Hold the phone, Big T, says Mo. Big T was in the comments earlier. We might need to get him on the phone. Barani takes it forward for the Dragons. Should have a co-host. It's tough with the streaming. I'll be calling it, and any co-host will be could be 30 seconds behind me, could be a minute in front of me. We don't know. So that's what makes it difficult to have a co-host for these sorts of games. A little chip over the top from Boyle. Bit of Phil Blake action. We're turning back the clock. We've got Hold the Phone blocker, and now we've got Phil Blake references. I hope we've got an older audience because the young fellas won't know what we're talking about. He doesn't get the ball back, though. Not quite as good as Phil Blake. He almost always got it back. The Tigers with the ball now crashing up towards the halfway line. Right, he does get through. We've praised the defence of Kuka on our line. He missed a bad one with some footwork there from the 14 of the Tigers. Good work from Boyle. He charges through, puts some pressure on Tanous. Kirk comes forward, leaps high. Didn't look like he had a great grip on it, but he holds onto it. No, he doesn't hold onto it. Yes, he does. It was a penalty tackled in the air. The Dragons get the penalty, and it looks like, we saw that missed tackle from the 9. We go Cooker, and it looks like the coach, Aaron Nichols, has noticed some fatigue. He's going off for a bit of a breather. Have a different dummy half. It'll be a play the ball here for the Dragons. Their touch find-up was touched before it went in over the sideline. The Dragons not sure what's going on, what they've got to do, but it will be a play the ball, and they've chosen to take it in the middle of the field. The new dummy half, he didn't know what was going on. They played the ball. It sat there for a minute before he picks it up. Bartolo, the new dummy half. Dragons team up on the screen for you. Stanley Trail. Give you some idea when I'm calling players what positions they play. Sergeant Wilson takes that to the line. Short ball. Trying to crash through. Kaongio on that edge. Causing some problems. Now they go across the face of Hale. Out to Nakar. Nakar tries to get in a little dance. Hulu wins the dance off, takes him into touch, but there's going to be a penalty. The Dragons' markers weren't square. Yongio is going to come across and take the tap. I know for sure I'm saying that name incorrectly, but we'll go with that. It's the 16 on your screen there. If you've got it big enough. Tracking across field goes Sergeant Wilson out to Hekila. Pass went behind him. That took any momentum out of that little set play. That didn't go quite as well as it did on Thursday night. Now looking to barge over. That's a really strong run. I think that's Sam Carr just out onto the field. Now looking to dive over from dummy half by Tolu. Cyrus Stanley Trail at dummy half. He throws the pass out to Kirk. Kirk steps off the right, puts a little grubber through. We'll get to it fine. Xavier Kirk. Well, Oh, they're going to rule an obstruction. Well, that was some brilliant play from Xavier Kirk. Individual brilliance. The Tigers get the ball after that obstruction penalty. The Dragons leading 10 points to 0 on the Complete Warehouse Solutions scoreboard. We've got about 10 minutes until half time. And have to disappear for just a second. Hopefully nothing interesting happens in this Tigers set. I've got to go and make sure my son's up because he's got work in half an hour. Right, we're back. The Tigers, they're attacking the Dragons line. And they've got it down. Well, we're back just in time to see a Tigers try. I think it might have been William Stone that crashes across. He's the one getting the high fives. Scored a try last week as well. It's Balmain on the board. 10 points to 4. The kick to come. Apologies for that. Normal service will resume. The Tigers, a pretty simple conversion attempt. They have had a lot of territory. A lot of opportunities down this end of the field. Eventually, they converted into points. For me, they went into this game as favourites, the Tigers. The Dragons have been impressive. Get out to that 10-0 lead, but now conceding. They've got to make sure they don't concede again. Ball falls off the tee. There seems to be much of a breeze here at Lidcombe Oval. Fabulous old ground. A long time since we've seen the St George Dragons against the Balmain Tigers at Lidcombe Oval, because they never played the Balmain Tigers or Western Suburbs Magpies. They used to play at this venue. The Balmain Tigers today. Knock that one over, Mark finished with the conversion. Nope. The Dragons, for all the good they've done, 10 points to 6, 29 minutes gone, 6 minutes until half time. I need a good defensive set. St George. I did. Phil Blake, what a player he was. Certainly was, Mo. The best attacking players, no matter what club he played for, he was exciting to watch, as long as he wasn't against your team. But I'm going to say I really enjoyed his time at that when he was at the Dragons. The Tigers after points, always important as the fullback. He slices through Denninger. Denninger with Kirk to beat. He takes him on. Nakar comes from behind. He gets out of the tackle of both Nakar and Kirk, spins away from Nakar a third time, and Logan Denninger, well, the Dragons did this between the 15th minute and the 18th minute, going bang, bang, and the Tigers, they've done it here straight after points. Their fullback, a great bit of individual play from Logan Denninger, just sliced them up. It looked like Kirk and Nakar had it well under control, but he busts through the tackle of both of them. Nakar comes again, and he fins him away and scores out wide. Well, a fabulous try from the Tigers. I said they wouldn't want to concede again. I said they needed a good defensive set. They're not listening to me here, the Dragons. They've got to get themselves together and get their heads back in this game, because all of a sudden it's 10-all with a kick to come. Well, this game has completely changed complexion. So it was probably all the Tigers for the opening 15 minutes. Then all of a sudden the Dragons went bang, bang and led 10-0. Got themselves into the game, got themselves well and truly on top. And now all of a sudden the Tigers go bang, bang just before half time. The conversion attempt raises the flags and the Tigers take the lead. 3 minutes until half time, and it's Balmain leading 12 points to 10. Now, it had been an impressive half until about 3 minutes ago. Now, all of a sudden, it's the Tigers looking to extend this 2-point lead in the final minutes before half-time. They work down a short side. The Dragons try to muscle up defensively. Kaongio's in there with Sergeant Wilson. This all looks pretty similar to the last set, as you would expect. I wonder if they'll try and involve Denninger again at some point, just to put the wind up the Dragons. Nothing doing so far, keeping it nice and simple, but they are rolling forward pretty easily. And they get to their kick through Tanus. Go down to Kirk. Kirk looks to beat the first chaser in Denninger, the two number ones, coming together once again. And once again, you'd have to say Denninger getting the better of it. The Dragons, though, at least they've got the ball in their hands. And a penalty here for pressure on the back of the head of Zach Nakar. They'll go on report. So a crusher tackle. 90 seconds to go. There doesn't seem to be a lot of urgency here for the Dragons. They'll get an opportunity, you'd think, to kick themselves up near halfway to start this set. Can they look to regain the lead before we head to the sheds? Ongio takes the tap. Go in field, underneath to the second runner in Stanley Trail. Now Sergeant Wilson, another roll ball. This again, Stanley Trail just throws it between his legs. You saw the heads rock back from the Dragons. That's not great body language. In this final 50 seconds or so, the Tigers will get the ball and a chance to attack. Well, you've got to be really aware of that rule and make sure you're at least making an attempt to use your foot to play the ball. There's a crackdown and all teams should be aware of it by now. It's the Tigers towards the middle with Bunt. Bunt put down by Hakila and Boyle. Go out to Denninger. Denninger goes wider still. Looks to put a little in and away there. Hulu. Pass again into Denninger. Now Bunt stands in the tackle, offload. I think that's a knock on from the Tigers. The referee's going to say play on. They fire it out wide. Barani's going to have to try and push him over the sideline. Can't do so, and the Tigers score in the corner through Joseph Parch. Referee checking with touch judges, looks around and he points to the spot. Well, it looked like a knock-on for your life, that the dropped ball from Cohen Benson. He tried to kick it. I don't think he got near it. Referee was happy to say play on. As it sat on the ground, everyone diving for it. It was the Tigers that picked it up. The Dragons players stop. They throw it out wide. Gets to Joseph Parch. Volonte Barani tries to come across and knock him into touch. Gives him a shove, but he finishes cleanly, Joseph Parch. And suddenly, as the halftime siren sounds, it's 16-10 to the Tigers. Absolutely right, Ian. The Dragons have gone to sleep. Fortunately, you can't afford to play half an hour. It's not Harold Matts anymore. You've got 35-minute halves, and in this last 5 minutes, the Tigers have scored 3 tries and have overcome a 10-0 deficit. Lead at least 16-10. He's already kicked one from out wide, Mark Tanus. He's got the opposite touchline now to deal with. Tigers will lead. It's just a matter of the margin. Moose moves in, writes it out to the right, needs it to come back a long way, and it won't. So it's, I guess the only races the Dragons can take is that it's a 6-point margin at halftime instead of 8. It's only one converted try. And there you have it at halftime. It's the Tigers, surprisingly, in the end, leading 16 points to 10. 3 tries in the last 5 minutes for the Tigers. William Stone, Logan Denninger and Joseph Parch off the Dragons. Antonio Augustino scored the first and Xavier Kirk scored a great long-range try. Give the Dragons a 10-0 lead, but matters not. At halftime, it's the Tigers leading 16 points to 10. We'll take a break. I'll get myself a water. I'll take my son to work and be back with the second half in about 10 minutes. G'day, welcome back for the second half of this game between the Tigers and the Dragons. The Tigers leading 16 points to 10 at half time. We're about a minute and a half into this second half. The Dragons have just received a penalty. Yo takes the tap. He takes it forward. Cooper Hale jumps into dummy half, steps out one way, now comes to the open side. It's to move really well. On the look of this bloke, young bloke from the Panthers, as Ian Johnson informed us. Juggle there from Stanley Trail. Gets the offload out to Sergeant Wilson. Now her killer. Straightens the point of the attack. Boltolo gets the dummy half and another roll ball. Well, once again, the Dragons, they've done this 3 or 4 times in the first half. They've done it once again. Darren Nichols needs to get the message out there. Use your bloody foot to play the ball or don't bother running it. They cannot afford to continually hand the ball over in that simple fashion, particularly when you're in good field position and a chance to post some points. We know that rule is going to be applied inconsistently. We certainly know that. We're going to see a few that aren't going to get called. If you use your foot, they can't choose to use that rule against you. So the Dragons once again handing over possession, and again the heads rock back. And the Tigers survive, and now Hale, tackle that sneaks up high, gets him right across the chops. Has to take the head there off Logan Denninger. Scored a fantastic solo try in the first half. Tigers will go on the attack here. After that penalty. Stands in the tackle. And on the next play, the dummy half just goes straight away and through a yawning gap, Jared Haywood. The Tigers extend their lead. The Dragons' defence crumbles. They faded in the second half last week, and that is not a good start to the second half this week. Jared Haywood goes over. The Tigers out to a 20 points to 10 lead. Comments there during the break. Will be good to have the Mad Dragons podcast crew back together starting tomorrow. You're really looking forward to it, mate. It's the work's gone into the Dragons preview, so hopefully it all goes smoothly. It'll be great to have the boys back together because Coco's still on the panel as well, which he won't be on tomorrow. But a big panel. And awesome to have Benny O'Brien back as well. Yeah, back where it all started. Fantastic having him back on board. He's always great for a chat and certainly gets some of the fans stirred up as well with some of his opinions. He's had some different experiences to a lot of us and never backwards in coming forward, Benny. So it'd be great to have him back. Create a little bit of angst, I'm sure. Well, him and I, we've gone head-to-head a few times on the show, and I'm sure that'll happen again throughout 2025. Puff Foster back as well, and also a couple of new panel members. Billy the Kid and Tony Habib. So looking forward to seeing what they can bring to the show in 2025. But here, the conversion attempt successful, and it's 22 points to 10 to the Tigers now. The Dragons, they desperately need to be next to score. To stop doing the silly stuff that's getting them into trouble. Hopefully get themselves down into good field position. Stop throwing the ball between their legs like they're touch players. That's one thing that's really hurt them. The Tigers force an offload. It does go backwards, picked up cleanly by the try scorer, Haywood. Dragons clean up, though. They get through their set, the Tigers. Taken on the fingertips there, Xavier Kirk coming forward. Dragons down by 12. Needing a response as Nakar tries to phase his way through the Tigers' defence. But then Dry holds on to him. Cooper Hale gave away the penalty that gave the Tigers field position moments ago. Trying to make up for it, but a nice little carry there. Out of dummy half goes Boyle. Tigers 5'8", the Dragons 5'8". Real decent spots. Sergeant Wilson tips that on to Smythe. He's smothered, though. Work a short side. Sergeant Wilson to Hikila. Runs a good line, but well handled by the Tigers. They keep working down that same side. Now Boyle, dummies, goes himself, loses the ball. The Tigers look to counter-attack through Denninger. Well, they kept hitting that right-hand side, the Dragons. The Tigers stood up to it. Eventually forced the error. Dib asking any new segments on the show. No new segments planned for this year. We've got plenty of them. Certainly behind enemy lines will be back. Not sure exactly what we're doing with Muzz's multi. It's been very successful, as everybody knows. Muzzer wants to do that at some other stage, maybe a simulcast on his own little side project. Muzz's League of Legends. If you're not following them, get into it. Here, the Tigers coming up with an error. The Dragons, another opportunity as a killer. A little bit of a step before he gets to the defensive line. Tries to power through. And another roll ball. There we go. The Dragons once again just throwing the ball between their legs. This referee has been red hot on it. And they have not been able to get away with it. It is again, they know this is going to happen. They've been picked up on it like 6 times, and still they can't do a simple thing like using their foot to play the ball. The Tigers, their players seem to have woken up to the fact the referee is cracking down on it. The Dragons, well, it's been stupid from them, it must be said. They haven't sorted it out. They keep throwing the ball between their legs, and the referee keeps pinging them for it and giving the ball back to the Tigers. Once again, that was in good field position. A chance for them to cut into this deficit. And it goes away because of that fundamental error. Now Van Dry gets through the tackle of Aquila. Hooker comes and makes the tackle. The kick goes through. Denninger goes through, leaps up, claims the ball, snatches it out of the grasp of Xavier Kirk. Well, that was great chase. Always eyes on the ball there, Logan Denninger. He gets his second. Well, he's been dangerous every time he touches the ball for the Tigers. Maybe a name to remember, Logan Denninger, the fullback for the Tigers. He scores number 2 for him. The Tigers, they make it 26 unanswered points with a kick to come. Jags Dragons trivia, I'm sure that'll be back. To be honest, Mo, I don't have a lot of involvement on the Tuesday show this year. I'm stepping back from that. It'll be Jag and Big T, Hasman, take over hosting duties of the Tuesday night show. They'll share that amongst them. I'll be on the occasional show as a guest, but on the focusing on the Sunday show, which is why that's moved to 6:30 this year from the 8:30 time slot. Mostly will accommodate the time difference that I've got. Tigers knock over the conversion. 28 points to 10. This one's slipping away from the Dragons. Well, it was a solid start. I did say the Tigers were favourites, and it was a great start from the Dragons to get out to a 10-0 lead. But since about the 29th minute of this game, it has been one-way traffic for the Tigers. Always frustrating. I think the most frustrating thing for me, Mo, is obviously it's dumb from the Dragons. They know that it's something that the referees are focusing on, the roll ball situation. So they should be getting the foot to the ball. Another offload there, Van Dries, the Tigers getting their way through. The most frustrating thing for me is that we all know by round 3 or 4, it would have all been forgotten. The Tigers just slicing the Dragons up at will now. Mark Tanous is put down. They're just 10 metres out from the Dragons' line here on tackle 5. The Dragons at 6s and 7s. A kick goes across field. Nakar snatches that out of the air and thought about going 90. Cooper Hale. Just hold on a second. I think we might have someone at my front door. Wife's got the front door. Probably the neighbours asking me to shut the hell up. Tigers with a scrum feed now in good field position after an error from the Dragons. And this feeds the scrum. There's the centre. Toifega underneath. Haven't seen a lot of Toifega. Scored a try last week. Really gone too often to his side of the field. Haywood goes to Tanous. A little bobble there. Let's go. Benson goes out to Tanous. Tanous, I think that's Denninger again. With Logan Denninger. It was nice shape from the Tigers, but dreadful defence from the Dragons. He completes his hat-trick. Logan Denninger, he's caused all sorts of problems. That was probably the easiest of his tries. He's held the ball out in 2 hands. The sliding cover defence, the lateral movement from the Dragons not good enough. And Denninger slices through. He's got number 3. It's 32 points to 10. The Tigers over the Dragons. A bit of soul searching required for Darren Nichols' men. It's just pride in the jersey that we're looking for now. It's been a pretty terrible fade out. Good opening 20, 25 minutes from the Dragons, but horrible since then. And quite honestly, 20 minutes, the Tigers have put on 32 points. So that gives you an indication as to how bad they have been. They've completely dropped their bundle. They've got a lot to work on. They've got some quality in this team. Let's not write off all of them, but certainly the scoreline tells the tale. That one waved away. The Tigers lead 32 points to 10 on the Complete Warehouse Solutions scoreboard. 51 and a half minutes gone. So plenty of time left on the clock for the Dragons to put some respectability in the scoreline, but it could also become quite embarrassing. So on the short kick off, Nakar, he's going to climb high, knocks it backwards towards Hale. Hale's got it. Hale now gives the pass. It's with Smythe. Smythe just running hard and straight through the middle of the field, 20 metres out from the Tigers' line. Holding onto the ball, that's got to be a penalty. It's not. It's just told back to go back and play it on the mark and told back to go and do it again. Well, the Tigers hold on and slow the play the ball down and they get every advantage out of it. Stanley Trail looks to reset a platform, but the Dragons on the attack. Use your foot, mate. He does. Sergeant Wilson out the back. Goes to Kirk. Kirk to Kaongio. The Tigers handle that. Cooper Hale into dummy half. Throws the ball, pass across. It's put down. Knocked backwards, says the referee. Hooker goes back and cleans up his own mess. Hale again comes around to go into dummy half. This time he goes for a gallop. They fling him to the ground. The halves have barely touched it. Can they get their hands on it now? Cooker goes across to Sergeant Wilson. He just turns it underneath the Stanley Trail. He doesn't have a lot of support runners with him, just tries to drag them towards the try line. Cooker into dummy half on tackle 5. Sergeant Wilson at first receiver. Goes the short ball to Smythe. Smythe on the last will be smothered. And the Tigers hold on, hold the Dragons out, keep their line intact. The Dragons hand it over. Well, not the best of attacking sets. The halves barely touched it. I didn't see Charlie Boyle touch the ball once. Although it looks like Boyle may have gone off. I think Cooper Hale might have moved into the halves by the look of the makeup of the Dragons' defence here. I think Hale's gone into 6 with Boyle going off. So the Tigers come up with an error. The Dragons with another chance to attack. Alex Futialo put down onto his back. Hooker at dummy half. Goes across. No, there's Boyle. Goes out to Kirk. Kirk looks to position his winger. It definitely looks like there has been a bit of a reshuffle. There's Boyle. Wants to spin out of the tackle of Young. Wants to play the ball quickly, Boyle. Up the back to Sergeant Wilson. Now Hale. Trying to get him closer through the action, get him more ball. Penalty to the Dragons. Player taken without the ball. Cooper Hale gets up a little gingerly. Difficult to put positions to everyone. Stanley Trail tipping that one on to Smythe. Stands in the tackle, wants to play the ball. Cooker has a look. Goes out to Boyle, short pass. Spinning out of the tackle, spinning towards the line. Getting the ball on the line, no. Yes, he has got the ball on the line, and a second try from Antonio Ocasitino. Well, he just spun once, he spun twice, he spins around, gets the ball on the line, referee points to the spot. Ocasitino's got his second, and the Dragons stop the rot. There we go. Thanks, Mo. Always happy to receive some assistance with the pronunciation of some of these names. Zach Nashar. The Dragons winger. Conversion attempt is successful. He's called time off. Not sure exactly. This might be a drinks break due to heat. Not 100% sure, but he has called time off after that conversion attempt. And tough judges all coming together. It's 32 points to 16. Complete warehouse solution scoreboard. It does look like some sort of drink break. He's not having a chat to anybody. "13 minutes to go. 16-point margin. It's not beyond the Dragons. We have seen tries come in bunches in this game. You'd say they certainly don't deserve it with the way that they played through this middle part of the game. But where there's life, there's hope. The commentator, you always want to try and provide hope to the team that's trailing. The clock on our screen continues to run through this little drinks break period. I haven't stopped it on the screen. So we'll go beyond the 70th minute. How much footy they got left in them here, the Dragons? St. George Dragons here trailing the Balmain Tigers, 32-16 at Lidcombe Oval. Need to be just about perfect from this point. They haven't shown an ability to be perfect for very long periods in this game. As Boyle claims that, gives it on to Viliami Hakila. He loves a little goosey before he gets to the defensive line. Puts it on display again. I don't know for whose benefit it is, because it doesn't seem to fool any of the Tigers. Inditch takes that next carry. Now good, strong run. Footy-Arlo gets the offload away. Now Kirk looking to step his way through the middle, drops the ball. The Tigers come up with it. They said they'd have to be perfect. Instead, they've come up with an error after creating a break. And now they hand it over to the Tigers in pretty decent field position for them to perhaps put the final nail in the coffin. With Jordan Bunt, he's been very busy, if nothing else, for the Tigers. They're locked forward. Tanus. Ball hits the deck. The Dragons pick it up. Look to throw the pass to the Shah, but was knocked down by the Dragons in the first instance. So it'll be a scrum, loose head and feed for the Tigers. Into the final 10 minutes or so, the Tigers leading 32-16. Another set of six coming up for the Tigers. They go to the line, get it to Denninger. Well, it's a good option to get it in his hands. And again, knocked down, this time by Footy-Arlo, picked up and play on for Haywood. Denninger chopped down. Now Bunt trying to just force his way across. pushing the ball closer and closer towards the line. Charging up out of the line goes Lewis Sergeant Wilson. The Shah races up as well. They knew they were short on numbers. The Tigers make the error, so the fast-moving defence achieves the aim it was looking to. Tigers unable to execute and take advantage of the numbers that they had on their right-hand side. Now Haywood. Outside-inside play. The killer makes a good tackle on bunt. He wants a quick play the ball, and he's come up with the error. Well, he's going to complain that Jaden Cooker gave him a little push down as he was trying to get up and play the ball. Referee's having none of it. Saying you just lost it in the ruck. Dragons, their defence holds on. I said when it got to 32-10, and they need to show some pride in the jersey. There was some pride there shown by their defensive line. Toughened up a little bit. Now perhaps looking for something to take into next week. Cooper Hale, he's got up ginger the last couple of times he's run the ball. He's trying to tough it out. Now Hakila. Good strong run. Cooker goes to Sergeant Wilson, fakes the kick, goes to Boyle. Boyle goes wider. Now it's with Indich. Indich wanted to get up and keep running. Kirk out of dummy half. Kirk gets it out now to Belmonte. Belmonte inside, and it's with Boyle. Boyle. The Tigers ride him down to the ground. They need to let the ball sing now. Cooker goes to Sergeant Wilson. Sergeant Wilson goes to the line, rolls it in behind, chases it himself. The ball's on the deck. The Tigers tackled in the in goal. Mark Tanus just takes the high percentage option and dives on the ball in the in goal area. Doesn't try and pick it up and get back in the field of play. That's his team's defence. Good set there from the Dragons. I'll keep the pressure on. They look to me to be just about out of time. Any chance they've got to overcome this 16-point deficit, they need to score in this set. One goes down, Indich takes it on the full. Didn't look overly comfortable underneath it. Comes now to Boyle. Boyle out the back to Sergeant Wilson. Comes out wide, gets to Nashar. Nashar in and away. Goes to the corner. Zach Nashar puts on a move. And the Dragons, they ain't done yet, baby. Well, that was a brilliant move. It was just one-on-one. Zach Nashar with his opposite number. In and away. Holds his line. Stays in the field of play. Classic winger finishing. And I'm not giving up. Hopefully you're not either at home. The clock on the screen says there's only 5 minutes to go, but I think there's a little bit longer than that because it kept running throughout that drinks break. I'd say there might be as long as 8 minutes still left in this game. Important conversion attempt. They're all going to be fairly important from this point. Lewis Sergeant Wilson from right out wide. Try and convert the Nashar try. Waved away. Tigers lead 32 points to 20. Well, on the unofficial clock, there's only 4 minutes left. But as I said, I think that that's probably going to be about 7 minutes. At a guess. The Tigers, well, they are walking very slowly up to the halfway line. The Dragons, they really need to ram home this momentum that they've created for themselves. The deep kick-off. Will be brought back by Alex Futialo. He looks a lot leaner than he did last year. Still a big lad. He's been good today. Kirk, he's had some moments. Able to get through the defensive line there. We'll play the ball back to Cooker. Out of dummy half. Picks up Smythe. He's keen as mustard, Rizzardi Smythe. Now to Boyle. Boyle goes out wide to Indich. Go right up against the touch line. Ends up with Burani. He had no room to work in. Back to Boyle. Boyle to Stanley Trail. Plays the ball, uses his foot. Boyle bombs across for Nashar. Nashar, he's got the momentum. It's knocked backwards, I think, by the Tigers. Nashar saying knock on, Tigers. Referee says knock on, Tigers. And the Dragons will get the scrum fee. Well, once again, we know the clock is counting down. They need to score, and they need to score now. You'd think only a draw is possible for the Dragons, but a draw would be remarkable. So they eventually get a lock in. They can't get 6 players into the scrum. They did not want to put Cooper Hale in the scrum. They come towards his side. It's with Hale. Hale goes to Sergeant Wilson out to Nashar. There's a ring of Tigers defenders, so he goes back infield. Try and ripping the ball free there, Jared Haywood. That will slow the play of the ball down, if nothing else. Sergeant Wilson going across field, looking for a runner, goes to Boyle. Boyle out to Indich. Indich towards the line. Cooker at dummy half. They work the short side. Boyle, double pump, and it's a hat-trick. A hat-trick here for Antonio Occasatino. And the Dragons, they closed it within 8 with a kick to come, and a hat-trick for Occasatino. Well, a massive kick now for Lewis Sergeant Wilson. He's got to knock this one over, or it will knock the wind out of the sails of the Dragons. Big conversion attempt coming up. And again, it's out wide. They haven't given him an easy task. They've put him under pressure. Lewis Sergeant Wilson. We're going to have no view at all, no idea. Moves in, strikes it. We watch the touch judges. They don't move too much. They don't move at all, except to raise their flags. And we've got a 6-point ball game. 32-26, with probably 2 or 3 minutes to go. But we don't really know. The clock on our screen says it's all over, and the siren can sound at any moment. We've got no clock. Come on, Dragons fans. Fire up. We've got 6 minutes to go. Sorry, 6 points to go to get us back level. The referee's called time off as the Tigers, they walk as slowly as they're allowed to back to halfway. We have 1 set, maybe 2 at most. Charging off the back fence comes Alex Futialo into the fray. Hands all over the ball. Eventually he's allowed to play it. Rizzardi Smythe steps past 1. Gets up over the 40-metre line. He's up near halfway on tackle 2. The fullback was trailing, didn't get it to him. Cooker out of dummy half. He had Stanley Trail with him. But again, they're only 40 metres out from the Tigers' line. Boyle dummies to the first runner. Goes to Occasatino. Occasatino gets the ball out to Burani. But he had no room to work in. It comes again to Boyle. Boyle going across field. Goes out the back of Futialo. Sergeant Wilson, dummies. Tackle 5, Cooper Hale. He gets out of it. They work down this side. It goes to Boyle. Boyle's going to roll it in behind. It's tapped backwards there by the Tigers winger into the arms of the fullback Denninger. And Balmain have got the ball, and they'll just want to complete this set. Now the Tigers busting through. Ankle tap missed. Stepping through goes Huahulu. Thought about playing on. He got the ball to Joseph Parch. Parch got told to go back to the mark and play it. The Dragons, well, they're trying to force an error. Lewis Sergeant Wilson slow to get back in the defensive line. Hopefully he's okay. Muan takes the tackle there for the Tigers. Bunt. Spun around onto his back. Well, the siren could go at any minute now. Tigers get to their kick through Tanus. Kirk knocks that back, picked up by Nashar. Play on, Zach Nashar. Good tackle. Had to be made there by Benson. Sorry, not Benson. It was Hayward. There's the siren. Boyle throws it out to Barani. Barani with some space. He rolls it in behind. Benson knocks it on. It doesn't matter. They clean it up. And that'll be full time. Well, the Dragons, they've done well to get themselves back into the game. They've certainly shown some pride in the jersey. They're going to come up short. It was a horrible period for them through the middle of the game where they gave up 32 unanswered points, and they go down in this one 32-26. So the Tigers are victorious in this one, winning the game. We'll get the overlay off the screen. So a good win for the Tigers. They go to 2-0. The Dragons go to 0-2. They've certainly got a lot of things that they need to fix through the middle part, but there was enough class shown by the Dragons to think that they're going to come up with some wins through this season. It's certainly not going to be much of a premiership defence, though, I wouldn't think. It was champions in the SG Ball last year, remarkably. 32 years between SG Ball totals for the St. George Dragons. It's a very different-looking team this year, only a few players back. For the Dragons, their try scorer Xavier Kirk, Zach Nashar, and a hat-trick to Antonio Oppositino. And well, for the Tigers, a hat-trick to Logan Denninger. Tries to Joseph Parch, Jared Hayward, and William Stone. And the full-time scoreline is the Balmain Tigers winning 32 points to 26. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow with a couple of games between the Illawarra South Coast Dragons up against the Western Rams in the Andrew Johns Cup and the Laurie Daly Cup. Of course, tomorrow night, the Mad Dragons vodcast. The panel is back with the Dragons preview from 6:30 p.m. Thanks very much for joining us through this broadcast. And we'll see you for a few more tomorrow. Catch up.
Coco is at Panel's heart, she wears it on her sleeve. As Mustard tells tales of Dragons wins and tuna victory. Tony and the MP crew will do their very best. Hitting up topic and I digress with a red beyond our chest. The Mad Dragon podcast is a sheep of camaraderie, navigating rants down rabbit holes in the land of big wet bees. And so our peddlers speak the tales and our premiership is our dream. The Mad Dragon podcast, funded by our team.